Hey y'all, and welcome to Cooking with V. I'm your host V. Today we're going to be making meatball subs. I've got my glass of wine, no, not for cooking, just for me. And in this bowl, I've got 3 pounds of hamburger meat. I've got shredded mozzarella cheese, shredded Parmesan and Romano cheese. I've got 1 yellow onion. I've got 1 egg. I've got 3 packs of SAZON, 1 with cilantro and achiotta, and 1 with just cilantro and tomato. I've got my grated Parmesan cheese. I've got, what is this? Some wonderful minced garlic, black pepper. I've got Goya SAZON. I've got some wonderful Italian seasoning, and I've got garlic powder. Now, this is a perfect dish for what I would call simple Saturday. We have some wonderful Italian bread that we're going to just kind of bake in the oven, just toast it lightly. I have on my stove already, I have got 2 jars, 16-ounce jars of ragu, garlic, and onion, just simmering lightly because we want to get that nice and warm and ready to throw these wonderful babies in. All right, so we are ready to get our ingredients up in this hamburger meat. This is 3 pounds. Some may be saying, why 3 pounds? You want your meatballs a very nice size. So we have Parmesan cheese. And when it comes to your meat, you want to cover and smother. Let me tell you, you love your meat, I guarantee you it's going to love you back. But you got to put all that wonderful goodness up in there. We've got our black pepper that we're just literally gonna cover. Woo! My nose is getting ready to itch. We've got our Goya SAZON. Cover and smother, y'all. Cover and smother. We have our Italian seasoning. This Italian seasoning is a mixture, wonderful mixture of basil, of thyme, of oregano. And your meatballs are the star of this dish. So you want to make sure that they are seasoned very well. Cover and smother, y'all. All right. We have 3 packs altogether of SAZON. I put SAZON in everything. We have 2 with cilantro and tomato. We're going to put the 2 with cilantro and tomato. Yes, all up in there. And then we've just got the original, if you will, SAZON. Put that pack in there too. Again, I use SAZON in every meat dish I make pretty much. We have here, we've got minced garlic. If you want to get chopped garlic, that's absolutely fine. My only suggestion is do not get any minced or crushed garlic or chopped garlic that's in olive oil. You do not want any olive oil in your meatballs because your meatballs are going to make their own juices. So I have this spoon here, and I don't measure anything. I just throw everything together. Measuring is for baking, and I'm not a baker. So I put 2 spoonfuls of the garlic in there. Now we're going to cut up our onion really quick. This is a yellow cooking onion. Really simple, regular. You don't need any fancy red onion or Spanish onion to go in here. And you want to chop up as much as you prefer. My family does not like a lot of onion in their meatballs, so I'm not going to put a lot in there. But if you prefer more more onion, go ahead. I always say, any onion that you do not use, discard it. Do not put it in your refrigerator because it gets very toxic. So we're going to use half of a yellow cooking onion, and we're just going to simply chop it, kind of fine chop it. And see, this is why I'm not a chef, Because if I was a chef, I'd be running through this right here. But I'm not. You want to finely chop it. Because you want very fine pieces to go in there. And just cut finely. Finely. And with your knife, you're just going to go right through it. Now, if you want chunkier pieces in your meatballs, go ahead and do that. But, oh, my eyes are starting to water. This onion is strong. So this isn't minced onion by any means, but it is a finely chopped onion. And if you want more, add more. If you want more garlic, add more garlic. The wonderful thing about cooking is you can borrow any recipe, adopt any recipe, and then just put your funk into it. All right, that looks good. We're going to throw that in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to wash our hands. Whenever you touch meat, you don't want your little dirty hands all up in the meat. So we're going to quickly wash our hands before we get in there. Oh my goodness, you know what I forgot? I forgot a couple ingredients. I can't believe I did that. We have breadcrumbs. You want to throw those in there. Cover and smother. This will help to bind the meatballs. We've got 1 egg. Crack it. Pour it in. This also will help to bind the meatballs. Now your breadcrumbs, I prefer Italian style because it does have lots of flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands again because we don't want any dirty, nasty hands touching our food. I've got my sauce simmering on the stove. I prefer ragu, but whatever spaghetti sauce you prefer, go ahead and use that. But I prefer ragu because I don't have to add anything into it, me personally. I don't have to add any salt, sugar. And when I make my meat sauce, my son, I tell you, loves it just a little bit sweet. Look at this. My bowl is running away from me. What is going on today, people? All right, we're going to finish mixing this, and then I'm going to show you how to form your meatballs, and we're going to plate them in our baking dish. So we've mixed our meatball mixture together, and we've got chopped onion in here. We have got garlic, crushed garlic. We've got breadcrumbs. We've got egg. We've got SAZON, total, and SAZON. Little black pepper, little Italian seasoning. And I also threw some adobo in there. I'm not one to really cook with salt. So if you cover it with adobo, it's a substitute for salt, but gives it just as good of a kick. Now, this is the kind of size meatball that you should have for your meatball sub, okay? So, for a family of 3, my family, I want them to have in their sub a good 3 to 4 good size meatballs. So, we're going to finish making these meatballs. We're going to wash our hands. And then we're going to place these beautiful babies in the oven to cook about a half hour, 45 minutes. Ready. They've been cooking for about 20 minutes. Maybe a little bit of half hour, but again, that depends on your oven range. Now, how do you know when your meatballs are done? You're just going to take a knife, stick it in. Oh, look at that. Oh, beautiful golden brown. And as long as there's no meat, okay, on your knife, you know that they are done. These look beautiful. And again, they're not perfectly shaped, and that's absolutely fine. But you have the nice golden brown top. And we're just going to go ahead and throw this into the spaghetti sauce that has been simmering for a little bit. Oh my goodness, let me tell you, it just smells like heaven up in here. I smell garlic, I smell onion, I smell Italian seasoning. I just smell so much goodness up in here. You want to mix it? Look at that. Oh, they are saying, yes, Hunty, bread me. Bread me. I'm ready to be breaded. And we are almost there. But what we're going to do first is we're going to pop this in a casserole dish. And we're going to sprinkle some of our mozzarella cheese and some of our shredded Parmesan cheese. Stick it in the oven, maybe 5 minutes. Let it melt. So when it's time to put everything on your sub bread, everything is going to be just so hot and tasty and delicious. So we have plopped our meatballs in our spaghetti sauce that we have been simmering for, I'm going to say, a good 2 hours. Look at that goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm ready to do a dance already. But there's just one more step when it comes to these meatballs. Now, as you saw when I transferred the meatballs into the sauce, I had a spoon that had holes in it. And that was just to make sure that I didn't get any unnecessary grease into our sauce. Now I have a whole spoon. Let me throw this towel to the side. And I'm just going to put it in my little baking dish. Okay. Now, if you don't want to take the time out, that's absolutely fine. We can do it this way as well. Just pour them bad boys in there. Ooh, look at them babies. Yes, look at them babies. I cannot tell you. Any leftover sauce, you want to get it all up in there. You don't want to leave any of the sauce out. Absolutely not. Okay, set this to the side. Oh, I cannot tell you what it smells like. And I always say this, but I really cannot tell you what it smells like up around here. It smells so good. I smell my onion, my garlic, my Italian seasoning, my spaghetti sauce. Now here comes, earlier on, I introduced you to the Parmesan and Romano cheese. This is where it comes to play. And remember, make sure your hands are clean, that you've washed them. We are just going to generously sprinkle, because we're going to pop this back in the oven for about 5 minutes. Okay? And you're going to want to put this in the oven the same time that you put your homemade garlic bread. And the reason being, you want everything to cook at the same time. Now I've got my mozzarella cheese. I tell you, this is just going to be so dang on good. And look at that sauce. So we've got a good amount of sauce with our very nice size meatballs. So my oven is still at 375. I'm going to pop this in along with my homemade garlic bread. In about 5 to 7 minutes max, we're going to be able to pull our meatballs and sauce out along with our garlic bread and just marinate the two together. This is very simple. I've got butter, and I've had this butter out to soften. I'm not one for the country crock butter or margarine. It's not the same. It's not real. So we're just gonna lather this bread with this butter. There. And again, I'm gonna lightly. And the reason why is because I put quite a bit of garlic in my meatballs. And because I want the meatballs to stand out and be the star of the dish, I don't want too much garlic on my garlic bread. We're going to stick this in the oven not too long, maybe 7 minutes max. Maybe. You're going to toast this like you will toast any frozen garlic bread that you get in the store. I don't like my bread too hard. That's why 7 minutes max. I'm good. Once this bread is done, we are going to put our meatballs that have been married and marinating with our spaghetti sauce on here. We're going to melt it with some Parmesan cheese, with some Parmesan and Romano cheese and mozzarella cheese. And I tell you, it's going to be just oh so good. Our meatballs that have been just slightly cooking in the oven, not really cooking, but making sure that this wonderful cheese is good and melted, which it is. It just looks so beautiful. Oh my goodness. And we have our garlic bread, homemade. Just simple Italian soft garlic bread, okay, that we did about a stick of butter. We lathered it and we sprinkled some garlic salt onto that. Oh, so nice and crusty. My family's gonna love me tonight, I guarantee. Look at these meatballs. Do you see them, people? Do you see these meatballs? Beautiful people. So now what we're gonna do is we're just going to transfer. I'm going to turn my oven light off. Transfer our meatballs. There you go. Can y'all see this? Can y'all see this right here? I just want to dance right now. I swear to you. I just want to dance. If you want a little bit more sauce, go ahead. Add that sauce. Make it messy. Ooh, yes. Make that bad boy messy. Now, whatever meatballs you do not use, freeze them. Use them in a future pasta dish. But for tonight, we are making meatball sub. So we're going to close this up as best as we can. Oh my goodness. And it's starting to just ooze out. Ooze out. Ooze out. We're going to get a pretty good bread knife. And just like you go to Wegmans, well, here in Rochester, we have Wegmans, who has like the best sub shop. But whatever sub shop you go to, they're going to ask you, do you want to cut it in quarters or halves? For tonight, we're going to do halves because I have a feeling my family is going to want a good half a sub. Good bread knife. Oh, do you see that? And again, you see how it's on top of the tinfoil. I'm not one. I don't want to do pots and pans all night long. So hence the tinfoil. And when we cooked our meatballs, we put our meatballs on tinfoil. And I tell you, I did not have to wipe a dish at all. We're going to go ahead and plate this bad boy. I can't wait to get up in here. Oh my goodness. Woo, look at this big boy. Do you see this? Ooh, you got your sauce, you got your meatballs, you got your cheese, you've got your homemade Italian bread smothered with butter, sprinkle of garlic salt or garlic powder. And I gotta retreat to the table for this one. Cause yeah, I gotta sit down for this goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't want any vegetables with this. This is a simple Saturday meal. Let's see. Let's see. It's hot. Ow! Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. I cannot describe to you. Woo! All the flavors that are filling my taste buds. Look at, I gotta lick my fingers. These meatballs are perfectly cooked. 20 minutes, half hour max, depending on how your oven cooks. I put mine on 375. 20 minutes, they were perfectly done. We added Parmesan cheese into our meatball mixture, which gives it even more of a good Italian subby flavor. The bread, toasted perfectly. I cannot do hard bread, but this is nice and crispy, but it's not too hard where you're gonna break your teeth. The sauce, I prefer ragu. I didn't add anything to it. That's just based upon my taste buds. Use whatever sauce you prefer. But this right here, hunty, let me tell you, simple Saturday, you can do no wrong. Your family is going to love you for life, I promise. Listen here. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you're not cooking with love, you're just not cooking. And until next time.